Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I am Naresh Magho and with me is Reshma Tiwari with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says National Logistics Policy aims to bring down industrial product transportation cost to a single digit. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar says democracy is best nurtured when all constitutional institutions are wholesomely in sync and confined to their respective domain. Gross direct tax collections register growth of 30% in the current financial year in comparison to the last fiscal. Government's vision is to connect every section of the society with the mainstream, says Home Minister Amit Shah. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal embarks on a two-day visit to Saudi Arabia to co-chair the inaugural ministerial meeting of the Economic and Investments Committee. President Draupadi Murmu reaches London to attend the state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II tomorrow. Indian javelin thrower Devendra Jhajharia clinches silver medal in the World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Morocco. In World Wrestling Championship, Bajrang Punia to play for bronze medal this afternoon, and in Durand Cup football, Mumbai City FC to take on Bengaluru FC in the final at Kolkata this evening. Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiled the National Logistics Policy yesterday at a function in New Delhi. He said the policy is aimed at bringing down the cost of transportation of industrial products to a single digit and reducing the time consumed. Mr. Modi said the policy is a significant step in the direction of India becoming a developed country.
ये जो बदलाव है वो अभूतपूर्व परिणाम लाने वाला है और अगर एक साल के बाद इसका इवोल्यूशन करेंगे तो आप स्वयं भी विश्वास करेंगे कि हाँ हमने तो सोचा नहीं था यहां से यहां तक पहुंच गए। देखिए 13-14% की लॉजिस्टिक कॉस्ट के लेवल को हमें जल्द से जल्द हम सब ने मिल करके उसको सिंगल डिजिट में लाने का लक्ष्य रखना ही चाहिए। अगर हमें ग्लोबली कॉम्पिटिटिव होना है हमारे एफर्ट्स मात्र से, एफिशिएंसी मात्र से, कुछ नियमों का पालन करने मात्र से हम 13-14% से सिंगल डिजिट में आ सकते हैं जी।
The Prime Minister said the National Logistics Policy will prevent damage to agricultural products by providing faster transportation. He said various road projects such as Bharatmala and Sagarmala were launched by him after becoming Prime Minister to improve connectivity. He said speeding up the work of the dedicated freight corridor is also a move in that direction. The Prime Minister said the Unified Logistics Interface Platform will bring all digital services related to the transportation sector into a single portal, freeing the exporters from a host of very long and cumbersome processes. Similarly, under the policy, a new digital platform, Ease of Logistics Services, has also been started.
Ease of Logistics Services, E-Logs नाम से भी एक डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म भी शुरू हुआ है। इस पोर्टल के माध्यम से इंडस्ट्री एसोसिएशंस ऐसे किसी भी मामले को जिससे उनके ऑपरेशंस और परफॉर्मेंस में समस्या आ रही है उसे सीधे सरकारी एजेंसी के साथ उठा सकती हैं। यानी बहुत ही ट्रांसपेरेंट वे में विदाउट एनी हर्डल सरकार के दरवाजे तक आपको पहुंचाने की व्यवस्था बन गई है।
Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar is on a day-long visit to Jabalpur in Madhya Pradesh today. This is his first visit to the state after becoming Vice President. Madhya Pradesh Governor Mangu Bhai Patel and Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan welcomed him at the Dumna Airport. The Vice President was given a guard of honor at the airport. Delivering Justice J.S. Verma Memorial Lecture, the Vice President said that adherence to constitutional prescriptions by all institutions is a non-compromising, ordaining and inalienable facet of doctrine of separation of powers. Mr. Dhankar said, democracy is best nurtured when all constitutional institutions are wholesomely in sync and confined to their respective domains. He said any transgressions, howsoever non-invasive, subtle and well-meaning by one in the domain of the other, has the potential to upset the democratic governance. The Vice President added that stock taking on this aspect will invariably promote accountability and transparency. Talking about transparency in various institutions, Mr. Dhankar said, "Spinally strong, fair and independent justice system is the safest guarantee to the blossoming and flourishing of democratic values." The Vice President urged that dignity of judges and respect for the judiciary is inviolable, as these are the fundamentals of the rule of law and constitutionalism. Speaking on the occasion, Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan appealed to make the mother tongue as the language of justice.
Home Minister Amit Shah has said that the vision of Narendra Modi government is to connect every section of the society with the mainstream. Mr. Shah today flagged off Prime Minister Narendra Modi cross-country slum race at Major Dhyan Chand Stadium in New Delhi this morning. Around 10,000 children and youth from slums participated in the race. Mr. Shah said the party is celebrating the birthday of Prime Minister Modi as Seva Pakhwada. The objective of this run is to highlight the sports talent of the youth of the slums of Delhi. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal will be on a 2-day visit to Saudi Arabia beginning today. He will co-chair the inaugural ministerial meeting of the Economic and Investments Committee with Saudi Arabia's Energy Minister Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman. The two ministers are expected to discuss the progress made under various joint project working groups of the Economic and Investment Committee. Both sides are also expected to formulate plan of action for further strengthening bilateral cooperation in priority areas and projects, including the West Coast Refinery Project and Trans-Ocean Grid Connectivity. They will also draft plan of action over accelerated progress on the announcement made by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of investments worth $100 billion in India during his visit to India in February 2019. During his visit, Mr. Goyal is also scheduled to meet Saudi Arabia Commerce Minister Dr. Majid bin Abdullah Al-Qasabi and is expected to hold wide-ranging discussions on the gamut of economic ties between the two countries. Our correspondent reports that Mr. Goyal's visit to Saudi Arabia will add further impetus to the dynamic and ever-growing strategic partnership between the two countries and pave the way for new areas of cooperation that will further strengthen commercial and trade ties between them.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar will visit the United States starting today till the 28th of September to participate in the 77th session of the UN General Assembly. On the first leg of his tour in New York, he will lead the India delegation for the high-level week at the General Assembly. Dr. Jaishankar will address the high-level session of the UN General Assembly on 24th September. The theme of the 77th UNGA is a watershed moment, transformative solutions to interlocking challenges. In keeping with India's strong commitment to reformed multilateralism, Dr. Jaishankar will host a ministerial meeting of the G4, which includes India, Brazil, Japan and Germany, and also participate in the high-level meeting of the L69 group on reinvigorating multilateralism and achieving comprehensive reform of the UN Security Council. Our correspondent has filed this report.
To commemorate and showcase Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, the External Affairs Minister will address a special event, India at 75, showcasing India-UN partnership in action on 24th September. The event will highlight India's development journey and its contributions to South-South cooperation. It is expected to be addressed by the President of the 77th United Nations General Assembly, along with foreign ministers of several member states and the United Nations Development Program Administrator. The minister would also be participating in plurilateral meetings of the Quad, IBSA, BRICS and other trilateral formats. These include India-France-Australia, India-France-UAE and India-Indonesia-Australia. He will also have bilateral meetings with foreign ministers of the G20 and UNSC member states. Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
Dr. Jaishankar will visit Washington, D.C. from 25th to 28th September for bilateral meetings with U.S. interlocutors. The gross direct tax collections have registered a growth of 30% in the current financial year in comparison to 2021-22. The Finance Ministry said, as on the 17th of this month, the gross collection of direct taxes in 2022-23 is at over 8,36,000 crore rupees compared to over 6,42,000 crore rupees in 2021-22. It said the net direct tax collections have also grown at 23% for the current financial year. The ministry said there has been a remarkable increase in the speed of processing of income tax returns filed during the current fiscal. Almost 93% of the duly verified ITRs having been processed till the 17th of this month. This has resulted in faster issue of refunds with almost a 468% increase in the number of refunds issued in 2022-23. Refunds amounting to over 1,35,000 crore rupees have been issued in the current financial year till date.
The Central Board of Direct Taxes, CBDT, has issued revised guidelines for compounding of offences under the Income Tax Act 1961. The CBDT has taken this step in conformity with the government's policy of facilitating ease of doing business and decriminalization of offences. Some of the major changes made for the benefit of taxpayers include making offence punishable under Section 276 of the Act as compoundable. The scope of eligibility for compounding of cases has been relaxed where case of an applicant who has been convicted with imprisonment for less than 2 years being previously non-compoundable has now been made compoundable. The CBI has moved a Delhi court seeking cancellation of Bihar Deputy Chief Minister and Rashtriya Janata Dal leader Tejasvi Yadav's bail in the IRCTC scam case. Following this, Special Judge Gitanjali Goyal has issued notice to Tejasvi Yadav on the CBI's plea and sought his response in the matter by September 28. In its application, the probe agency said that in a recent press conference, Tejasvi attempted to subvert the process of law and thwart the entire investigation as well as the consequent trial and blatantly abused the liberty granted to him. The CBI said Tejasvi Yadav not only issued a direct threat to CBI officers and their families, but also issued indirect threat to witnesses.
A Delhi court has sent Aam Aadmi Party MLA Amanatullah Khan to 4-day police custody in the Delhi Waqf Board corruption case. The anti-corruption branch of Delhi police had arrested Khan for his involvement in alleged irregularities, including financial misappropriation at the Delhi Waqf Board. Okhla MLA Amanatullah Khan is the chairperson of the Waqf Board. Special Judge Vikas Dhul said Khan's bail application will be considered after the end of his 4-day custody of the ACB. On Friday, the ACB had arrested Khan after conducting raids at 4 locations across Delhi, during which it recovered around 24 lakh rupees in cash and 2 unlicensed weapons along with ammunition.
You're listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says National Logistics Policy aims to bring down industrial product transportation cost to a single digit. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar says democracy is best nurtured when all constitutional institutions are wholesomely in sync and confined to their respective domain. Gross direct tax collections register growth of 30% in the current financial year in comparison to last fiscal. Government's vision is to connect every section of the society with the mainstream, says Home Minister Amit Shah. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal embarks on a 2-day visit to Saudi Arabia to co-chair the inaugural ministerial meeting of the Economic and Investments Committee. President Draupadi Murmu reaches London to attend the state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II tomorrow. Indian javelin thrower Devendra Jhajharia clinches silver medal in the World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Morocco. In World Wrestling Championship, Bajrang Punia to play for bronze medal this afternoon. And in Duran Cup football, Mumbai City FC to take on Bengaluru FC in the final at Kolkata this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
मुट्ठी भर अंग्रेज और हमारे विशाल देश पर राज करने का स्वप्न देख रहे हैं, पर हम इनके स्वप्न को चकनाचूर कर देंगे।
निकल पड़े स्वाधीनता के पथ भाले, स्वतंत्रता संग्राम की सुनी अनसुनी कहानियों के साथ स्वराज हर रविवार रात 9 बजे डीडी नेशनल पर।
प्रतियोगी परीक्षाओं की तैयारी अगर कर रहे हैं आप, तो ऑल इंडिया रेडियो की पेशकश अभ्यास है आपके लिए। इस बार का विषय है एंशिएंट इंडियन हिस्ट्री और आप अपने सवाल हमें 14 सितंबर तक व्हाट्सएप करें 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करें abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India of the 21st century is giving a message to the world that economy and ecology are not conflicting fields. He said India is a living and breathing example that economic progress of a country can take place along with protecting the environment. Mr. Modi said, on the one hand, we are included among the fastest growing economies of the world, and at the same time, the forest area of the country is expanding rapidly. The Prime Minister was speaking after releasing wild cheetahs brought from Namibia at the Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh yesterday. Wild cheetahs were declared extinct from India in 1952. Project Cheetah is the world's first intercontinental large wild carnivore translocation project. The Prime Minister said, today we need to approach global problems, solutions, and even our lives in a holistic way. He said that is why today India has given a mantra, life, that is lifestyle for the environment, to the world. Mr. Modi said, today India is giving a platform and a vision to the world through efforts like the International Solar Alliance. The success of these efforts will decide the direction and the future of the world. The Prime Minister also interacted with Cheetah Mitra, Cheetah Rehabilitation Management Group, and students at the venue. Talking to Cheetah Mitra, the Prime Minister asked him to be strict in not allowing anyone for a few months to witness the cheetahs.
सबसे पहली मुसीबत क्या आने वाली? आप जैसे ये काम शुरू करोगे, सबसे मुसीबत पहली क्या? सबसे बड़ी समस्या नेता लोग करेंगे, मेरे जैसे। वो आप अभी बताया गया होगा, थोड़े दिन तक चीता देखने के लिए आना नहीं है, उसको सेटल होने देना है, फिर वो बड़ी जगह पे जाएगा, वहाँ कुछ दिन सेटल होने देना है। लेकिन सब नेता लोग आ जाएंगे, नेता के रिश्तेदार आ जाएंगे, टीवी कैमरा वाला आ जाएंगे, क्योंकि वो उनको कहना है सबसे पहले ब्रेकिंग न्यूज आता है ना, तो वो भी आ जाएंगे, आप पर दबाव डालेंगे। नहीं, ये सब अफसरों को दबाव डालेंगे। ये आपका काम है, किसी को घुसने मत दो। मैं भी आऊँ तो मुझे भी घुसने मत दो। मेरे नाम से कोई मेरा रिश्तेदार आ जाए तो भी नहीं, जब तक उनका समय पूरा होगा उसके बाद घुसने देंगे।
Over 107,000 people voluntarily donated blood under Raktadaan Amrit Mahotsav. The 15-day-long countrywide mega voluntary blood donation drive was kick-started by Union Health Minister Dr. Mansukh Mandavia yesterday on the occasion of the 72nd birthday of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. More than 6,000 camps have been registered for this mega drive, along with more than 214,000 blood donors registered so far on e-Rakt Kosh portal. Mr. Mandavia said a new world record was created on the very first day, with 87,137 people voluntarily donating blood in a single day. The campaign is aimed at increasing awareness regarding regular, non-remunerated voluntary blood donations and ensure that blood or its components are available, accessible, affordable and safe. As per 2021 statistics, India's annual requirement is around 1.5 crore units.
Uttar Pradesh government has reshuffled district magistrates of 10 districts in the state. 4 other IAS officers have also been transferred. AIR Lucknow correspondent reports that district magistrates of Hardoi, Barabanki, Mirzapur, Ghazipur, Agra, Chandauli, Mathura, Pilibhit, Bhadoi and Sant Kabir Nagar districts have been transferred. Barabanki DM Adarsh Singh has been appointed as Commissioner in charge of the Jhansi division. Ghazipur DM Mangla Prasad Singh has been made the DM of Hardoi. Avinash Singh, the District Magistrate of Hardoi, is the new DM of Barabanki, while Sant Kabir Nagar DM Divya Mittal has been made the new District Magistrate of Mirzapur. Bhadoi DM Arika Akhuri has been made the new District Magistrate of Ghazipur. Navneet Singh Chahal, DM of Mathura, has been made the DM of the adjoining Agra district. Varanasi Development Authority's Vice Chairman Isha Duhan has been made the new DM of Chandauli. Pilibhit DM Pulkit Khare has been made the DM of Mathura. Mirzapur DM Praveen Kumar has been made the new DM of Pilibhit. Aligarh Municipal Corporation Commissioner Gaurang Rathi has been made the DM of Bhadohi. Gorakhpur Development Authority Vice Chairman Prem Ranjan Singh got the charge of Sant Kabirnagar DM.
Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan called on Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai in Bengaluru today. Both the heads of states discussed the viability of railway lines between the two states in the presence of ministers and officials. Briefing media persons later, Karnataka Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai said that his Kerala counterpart proposed a railway line between Kanhangarh, Karnal, Kaniyur and another line between Talassery, Wayanad, Mysore that would reduce travel time to reach Bengaluru. However, the Karnataka Chief Minister informed that the 45-kilometer-long railway line to Kaniyur will pass through the eco-sensitive zone, harming the environment, and hence the state has expressed its unwillingness to accept the project. Another railway line sought by Kerala between Talassery and Mysuru will also pass through Tiger and Elephant Reserve in Nagarhole and Bandipur National Park area and also a sensitive eco-zone. Hence, this alignment is also not acceptable to the state. Mr. Bommai also informed that a request to increase the night bus service from 2 to 4 was also not accepted as it passes through a wildlife sanctuary.
We had come for a bilateral talk. We are sister states and a lot of cultural exchange also there. But however, all the three proposals which he had sent railway lines, one is from Kasaragod to Dakshin Kannada and the Mysore Telcheri, they comes under eco-sensitive zone, national park, tiger sanctuaries, elephant sanctuaries. So these are all old proposals which we have earlier rejected. Now also we have said it is not possible in clear terms.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed anguish over the loss of lives in a bus accident in Hazaribagh district of Jharkhand. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar has also expressed grief on the loss of lives of 7 people in the accident. He also shared his thoughts for a speedy recovery of the injured people. 7 people died and more than 45 got injured as a bus carrying passengers from Giridih fell off the bridge in Sivane River on Hazaribagh Tati Jhadia Road last evening. The bus overturned in the Sivane River on Hazaribagh Bagodar National Highway 100. All passengers were going to Ranchi to attend a religious Kirtan program in Gurdwara from Giridih.
President Draupadi Murmu reached London this morning to attend the state funeral of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II and offer condolences on behalf of the Government of India. Queen Elizabeth II, the former head of state of the United Kingdom and the head of Commonwealth of Nations, passed away on the 8th of this month. The funeral of Queen Elizabeth II will take place at Westminster Abbey on Monday, starting at 11 a.m. local time. Westminster Abbey is the 753-year-old church where royals have traditionally been married, mourned and buried. Over the past 75 years since independence, India's largest public service broadcaster, All India Radio, has been the proverbial storyteller for crores of people across the country. All India Radio is celebrating 75 years of freedom with a series, Azad Bharat Ki Baat, Akashvani Ke Saath. It showcases the journey of India since independence in various walks of life through the storytelling of All India Radio. In today's episode, we will bring you the story of reorganization of Northeast Frontier Agency and the Seven Sisters.
After independence, Northeastern Frontier Tract, NEFT, was brought under the 6th Schedule of Indian Constitution. It was renamed as Northeast Frontier Agency, NEFA, in 1954. NEFA was renamed as Arunachal Pradesh on the 20th January 1972 and became a union territory with a legislature. Arunachal Pradesh became a state on the 20th February 1987. Prime Minister Narendra Modi asserted that the centre is bent upon making Arunachal Pradesh a major gateway to Southeast Asia. Since 2014, under PM Modi's leadership, unprecedented work has been done to speed up Arunachal's development.
50 वर्ष पूर्व नेफा को अरुणाचल प्रदेश के रूप में नया नाम, नई पहचान मिली थी। उगते सूरज की इस पहचान को, इस नई ऊर्जा को इन 50 वर्षों में आप सभी परिश्रमी राष्ट्रभक्त बहनों भाइयों ने निरंतर सशक्त किया। अरुणाचल की इसी भव्यता को देखते हुए 5 दशक पहले भारत रत्न डॉक्टर भूपेन हजारिका जी ने अरुणाचल हमारा नाम से गीत लिखा था।
अरुण किरण शीश भूषण कंठहीन की धारा, अरुण किरण शीश भूषण कंठहीन की धारा, प्रभात सूरज चुंबित देश अरुणाचल हमारा, अरुणाचल हमारा। राष्ट्रभक्ति और सामाजिक सद्भाव की जिस भावना को अरुणाचल प्रदेश ने नई ऊंचाई दी है, अपनी सांस्कृतिक विरासत को जिस प्रकार आपने संजोया संवारा है, परंपरा और प्रगति को जिस प्रकार आप साथ साथ लेकर चल रहे हैं, वो पूरे देश के लिए प्रेरणा है। एंग्लो आबो युद्ध हो या फिर आजादी के बाद सीमा की सुरक्षा, अरुणाचल वासियों की वीरता की गाथाएं प्रत्येक भारतवासी के लिए अनमोल विरासत है।
Northeastern region consists of 7 sisters and Sikkim. The 7 sisters are Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Manipur, Mizoram, Nagaland and Tripura. Sikkim was integrated as the 8th Northeastern Council state in 2002. From having the cleanest village in Asia to India's oldest oil refinery and India's largest monastery, Northeast has everything. Under the present government, 360-degree rapid development is being witnessed in all spheres of life in the Northeast.
आजाद भारत की बात आकाशवाणी के साथ can be accessed on AIR News Alerts on Twitter, News on AIR official YouTube channel, News on AIR app, Facebook and Instagram handles. So tune into All India Radio News for Azad Bharat ki baat Akashvani ke saath.
Indian javelin thrower Devendra Jhajharia has clinched a silver medal in the World Para Athletics Grand Prix in Morocco. Paralympics gold medalist Devendra threw the javelin to a distance of 60.97 meter to capture the silver. Devendra is a 3-time Paralympics medalist. In the 2022 World Wrestling Championship, India's Bajrang Punia still has a chance to win a bronze medal even after his disappointing exit at quarter-final stage yesterday. He will take on the winner between Vazgen Tevanyan of Armenia and Bulgaria's Vladimir Vladimirov Dubov for bronze today. The repechage round is scheduled to be held at 3 p.m. Indian Super League ISL giants Mumbai City FC will take on Bengaluru FC in the Durand Cup final at Kolkata this evening. Both sides look to win their maiden Durand Cup trophy, the oldest running football tournament in Asia. While Mumbai City FC defeated 2-time champion Mohammedan SC in the semis, Bengaluru FC beat Hyderabad FC to seal their spot in the final.
Minister for Youth Affairs and Sports Anurag Thakur said the sports can help people overcome addictions. He was interacting with voters, social activists, office bearers of cooperatives and trade associations in Mumbai today. Mr. Thakur said that the central government can provide good facilities for sports and sportspersons, but it is in the hands of the sports associations and federations of the state to ensure that they reach the right players and make proper use of them. Now let us have a look at the weather forecast for the day. The national capital Delhi is expected to have a partly cloudy sky. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees and maximum will be 34 degrees Celsius. Mumbai is expected to have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Chennai is expected to have a thunderstorm with rain. Kolkata will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. Hyderabad and Bengaluru will have generally cloudy skies. Guwahati, Imphal, Kohima, Aizawl, Itanagar, Shillong and Agartala will have partly cloudy skies. And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says national logistics policy aims to bring down industrial product transportation cost to a single digit. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar says democracy is best nurtured when all constitutional institutions are wholesomely in sync and confined to their respective domains. Gross direct tax collections register growth of 30% in the current financial year in comparison to the last fiscal. Government's vision is to connect every section of the society with the mainstream, says Home Minister Amit Shah. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal embarks on a 2-day visit to Saudi Arabia to co-chair the inaugural ministerial meeting of the Economic and Investments Committee. President Draupadi Murmu reaches London to attend the state funeral of Queen Elizabeth II tomorrow. Indian javelin thrower Devendra Jhajaria clinches silver medal in the World Para-Athletics Grand Prix in Morocco. In World Wrestling Championship, Bajrang Punia to play for bronze medal this afternoon, and in Durand Cup football, Mumbai City FC to take on Bengaluru FC in the final at Kolkata this evening. And with that, we end the midday news.